Hello everyone, Jeff with the Green Review here. Urban wildlife comes in all sorts of species and sizes, from mice to moose and frogs to alligators. Animals that we think of only as found in rural areas or forest preserves are found in most towns. Older areas naturally have bigger trees and larger areas of plantings that feed and house wildlife. Armadillos, coyotes, possums, raccoons, rats, and skunks have easily adapted to urban life near humans because they're omnivorous and nocturnal. Omnivorous animals eat just about anything that's made from plant or animal material, kind of like most teenagers I know. Nocturnal animals are mostly active at night, also kind of like most teenagers. Being omnivorous is an advantage because humans leave such varied trash to supplement a natural diet of worms, insects, small animals, and other meat products. They can eat hamburgers, pork chops, and roast chicken. A natural inclination to eat ripening berries and tender shoots is easily transferred to melon rinds and garden vegetables. And they don't care if they find this new exotic food supply fresh in the garden or rotting in the garbage can. Being nocturnal's biggest benefit is that they don't come into contact with too many people. Also, most pets are kept indoors for the night. Having little contact with people means a much better chance to survive. Herbivorous animals have diets almost entirely restricted to plant material. Chipmunks, deer, mice, rabbits, and squirrels, voles, and woodchucks are all herbivores that live within the city limits of nearly every town in the country. They benefit by having a wider variety of foods, but the smaller ones must be careful of cats. The smaller an herbivore is, the more likely it is to succeed because it will require a smaller territory, which is less contact with people, and it can fit into hidden spaces in the urban environment. There are 4 methods to stop urban wildlife: make living conditions unsuitable, putting up barriers, traps, and poisons. Each species has its own preference for housing and supply of food and water. If large trees with hollow trunks are not available, raccoons, squirrels, and possums will live in an accessible attic or garage. Limit access to the roof by pruning branches that have an overhang close to the roof. That'll help a lot. Chipmunks, mice, skunks, and woodchucks prefer holes in the ground or under logs, but will just as easily adapt to under a porch, foundation, or a shed. Mice and other small rodents can get into holes and cracks as small as a 1/4 inch across, and baby rats only need a 1/2 inch. Make sure the animals are out of their home and your home before sealing up any entrances. As the weather cools off, animals, especially small rodents, will be looking for a warm place to stay for the winter, so a weather-tight home is also cheaper to heat for you, and it has fewer insect problems, so seal up everything you can. Barriers work well when you know what kind of animal you want to prevent and what you want to prevent them from getting to. A 7 or 8 foot high fence would be required to keep deer from a garden, but digging animals require the fence to be buried a foot or 2 underground. For climbers like squirrels and raccoons, an 18-inch tall metal wrap around the tree trunk will prevent them from climbing. It needs to start at least 3 feet off the ground for raccoons, and 6 feet off the ground is best for squirrels. Fencing can create a barrier for small areas such as a vegetable garden. Small wire mesh fencing may need to be buried to keep out chipmunks, gophers, groundhogs, and moles. Devices that flash, make sense or sounds may work for the short term, but they don't always work. The devices that spray garden hose water seems to work the best and the longest. So there's a product called the Scarecrow that seems to work pretty well. Depending on the animal species, it may not be legal to use traps or poisons to remove nuisance animals. Typically, small mammals like chipmunks, gophers, mice, moles, rats, shrews, and voles can be killed without needing a permit. Larger mammals like tree squirrels and fur-bearing mammals like beaver, fox, coyote, mink, possum, otter, raccoons, skunks, and weasels require permits to remove them. Your Department of Natural Resources in your state will have the various requirements and permits for nuisance animal removal, so you check with them. There are also companies that specialize in removing nuisance animals, so you can try them. Trying to move mammals to new locations has several problems. First, it's dangerous to trap and handle any wild animal. Second, they may have a disease that's transferable to people, pets, or wildlife in the new area. Third, the moved pest animal may have been someone else's pet. Fourth, it's not legal to release animals into any nature preserve. Fifth, any new location that is suitable for the new animal will probably already have enough of that type of animal. The moved animal will have a tough time actually fighting to find a territory in the new area. The fighting puts both the new and established animals in danger. If the trapped animal has to move to another territory, it is at risk from predators and cars. And lastly, another past animal is likely to move into the original territory that is now vacant, unless something is done to make the territory unsuitable to that kind of animal. Poisons must be carefully chosen and used in a way that will prevent harm to people, pets, and other non-target wildlife. Other chemicals that are not poisons can be used as barriers to stop some wildlife damage. There are pepper sprays and powders that can be purchased and added to birdseed mixes so the mammals won't eat them. Several brands of deer and rabbit repellent are available. They need to be consistently applied to work. Do not use the home remedy of mothballs, as they are poisonous, especially to little kids, and they should not be used outdoors. And this is Jeff with the Green Review. Thanks for watching.